This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video here on the YouTube channel. Thank you very much for taking the time to join us today. It is very much appreciated. What we're going to do today is we are going to continue our look reviewing Classic Watch 24. We've also already done the British horses and the Irish-based horses. Today, we're going to try and be ambitious and see how we get on halfway through the video. We're going to try and take a look at the European-based horses in France and Germany in this video. These horses, where can they be found? classicwatch24.great/site.net is where the horses will be found. So without further ado, we're going to get cracking. This is the tab we're interested in today. The tab that says French trained horses. And then once people click on that, they will get to the list of the French-based Classic Watch 24 possibles. And they are the horses that we are going to go through now in no particular order, I must say. Right, the first one we're going to take a look at is Ramatuelle, a filly sired by Justify out of a dam called Raven's Lady, who was sired by Raven's Pass and bred by Uguada Centurion, SLU, owned by plenty of people, Infinity 9 horses, and Ecurie de Monco. It's had several owners all through its time and trained by Christopher Head. Very good 2-year-old, this horse. This horse had won a Group 3 and a Group 2 at 2 and turned in its best performance in the Middle Park, beaten a short neck by Van Dijk, running to a mark of 112 in the Group 1 pre-Morney at Deauville. The horse had a bit of a setback on its first start, really, at 3. The horse ran in the Group 3 pre-Imprudence and could only finish second, beaten half a length by Romantic Style, running to a mark of 108. The horse then equalled its best 2-year-old form. It did go to a classic on the 5th of May 2024, the UK 1,000 guineas at Newmarket. And the horse managed to secure a placed effort, finishing 3rd of 16, beaten half a length by Almica. The horse then went to Royal Ascot, again to take on the 3-year-olds in the Coronation Stakes in June. And the horse finished 3rd of 9, beaten 2.5 lengths by Porta Fortuna, running to a mark of 111. And that was the only time in its career the horse was not ridden by Aurélien Lemaitre. Aurélien back on board for what turned out to be the last run of her career. I think she has been sold to breed now in the Group 1 Prix La Forêt at Longchamp on the 6th of October. And the horse defeated Kinross by 3 lengths, running to a mark of 119. By far and away her best performance of her career, managed to upgrade her career from the 112 she ran at 2 to 119 at 3. Very hard to call this horse a failure. This horse was placed in a classic and was a Group 1, Group 2 and Group 3 winner, age 2 and 3. The next horse we're going to take a look at is Ramadan, a colt sired by Le Havre out of a dam called Raushan, who herself was sired by Dalakani, bred by Sumbe, which is Nuyan Bizakov's breeding operation. And people will be able to see that the horse now is not owned by Nurlan Bizakov anymore. It has been sold to the Chinese horse racing investor Zhang Yusheng to continue his career, a 4-year-old based in the UK, trained with James Ferguson. That was from the 5th of December 2024. This horse at 2 managed to win once out of 3 starts. The horse was 4th at Group 1 level, beaten a length and a quarter by Los Angeles, running to a mark of 104. That was by far and away its best effort at 2. And at 3, the horse had a busy career, managing to win 2 trials. Firstly, the horse won the listed Prix Omnium Doisiem, Prix Omnium 2, the listed race at Saint Cloud, and then the horse came out again at Longchamp and won the Group 3 trial, the Fontainebleau at Longchamp, running to marks of 112 and 111 in those races. The horse then took part in 2 classics. The horse ran in the French 2,000 guineas, where the horse could finish 5th out of 13, beaten 1 3/4 lengths by Metropolitan. And then the horse ran in June in the French Derby, where he could only finish 11th out of 14, beaten by Luc de Vega. So it's safe to say the horse had a pretty good go in 2 classics. The best he could finish was 5th. The horse then added another Group 3 win to his resume, winning the Prix Daphne against the older horses, beating Gargan by a neck. And the horse then went back to Group 1 level in September 2024, finishing 7th out of 7, beaten 9 lengths by Tribalist in the Prix Moulin. The horse then took his form again to a whole new level, winning his first Group 2 victory in October 2024 when he won the Qatar Prix Daniel Wildenstein, beaten Andromeda by 3/4 of a length and running to a career best mark of 116 when doing so. Then it was sold to Zhu Yusheng, the Chinaman, and on his first start for him, on the 8th of December 2024, the horse was sent to Shatin to contest the Hong Kong Mile, where the horse finished 14th out of 14, beaten 17 lengths by Voyage Bubble, running to a mark of 85, the second worst the horse had ran to in his career. But again, pretty hard to call this horse a failure. He was 5th in a classic, and in the year he won a listed race, 2 Group 3s and a Group 2. The horse won 4 pattern races and took his form up from 104 age 2 to 116 age 3. But yeah, pretty interesting horse, Ramadan. And again, he's another one that had a fair season. The next horse we're going to take a look at is Beauvatier, trained by Ian Barbaro, sired by Luc de Vega, out of a dam called Enchanting Skies, owned by Philippe Allaire and Haras Detram, and bred by Ecurie de Monco, Qatar Bloodstock Limited, and Madame B.M. Keller, who owned a third each in the horse. This horse, to me, was quite frustrating because I don't think they campaigned it over the right trips. Horse was a very good 2-year-old. It won 4 out of its 5 starts at 2, its best mark being 108 when the horse was 3rd behind Rosalian in the Prix Jean-Luc Lagardère when sent off an even money shot for that race. In between that, the horse had won a listed race at Deauville and a Group 3 race at Longchamp, the Prix La Rochette at Longchamp, and the Prix Roland de Chambord at Longchamp, where he ran to marks of 100 and 104. And the horse had also beaten Ramatuelle in a conditions race at Saint Cloud in May by a head, over 6 furlongs. The horse had a decent enough campaign at 3, I think, the horse, but unfortunately the horse did not manage to win a race somehow. The horse was 2nd behind Ramadan in April in the Group 3 Prix de Fontainebleau, beaten by 3/4 of a length. And then the horse did turn up in a classic in May 2024. The horse won in the French 2,000 guineas, where the horse was sadly 12th out of 13, beaten 13 lengths by Metropolitan, running to 83, which was the lowest mark in the horse's career. There then followed a very solid campaign where the horse was in fact placed in 4 Group 1 races in succession. It started that finishing 3rd, 2.5 lengths behind Punch Keen in the Prix Jean Prat at Deauville. It was then beaten 3 3/4 lengths by Lazat in the 2024 Prix Maurice de Geest, went 3rd again. And the horse was then beaten in a Group 3, not a Group 1. Beaten in the Group 3 Prix Barrière de Maitri, beaten 1.5 lengths by the UK raider Spycatcher. The horse then turned up to run in the Prix Forêt, where he was unfortunately beaten again in 3rd by Ramatuelle by 3 3/4 lengths, running to a mark which at its best was his career best of 113. But the horse did manage to beat that at Ascot, where it was sent abroad for the first time. UK, it ran on the Champions Day UK Sprint, where the horse finished 4th, beaten a length behind Kind of Blue, running to what is a new career best mark of 117. Again, very unfortunate, really, this horse to have only won 4 out of 12 races, in my opinion. This horse was placed in 4 Group 1 races and managed to win a Group 3 and a listed race. Actually, placed in 5 Group 1 races, 4 Group 1 races, 1 at 3 and 1 at 2. The horse was fourth in another. Solid performer who took his form at 2 from 108 up to 117 at 3 for the Jan Barbaro trained horse. The horse had a good year, it's fair to say. Next one we're going to look at is a filly, Kandala, owned and bred by the Aga Khan. I've seen that it's been exported to the USA on the 22nd of the 10th. So I don't know if the horse will continue training. The horse sired by Frankel out of a dam called Candalia, who herself was sired by Dalakani. And you'll see there the horse did finish 8th at Keeneland already. In a Group 1, it said there it was trained by the same person. This horse won a trial. It won the Group 3 fillies trial, the Prix de la Grotte by short neck, beating Minushka by a short neck, running to a mark of 104. 89 was the best the horse managed in 2 runs at 2. The horse then did turn up in a classic, June 2024. The horse ran in the French Oaks, the Prix de Diane, where she could only finish 8th out of 14, beaten 4 1/4 lengths by Sparkling Plenty. The horse then upped in trip to 1.5 miles in July 2024, where again she could only finish 3rd in the Group 2 Prix de Mailleret, beaten 2 lengths by Servi. And then another Group 2 placed effort in August 2024. She was placed in the Prix Alex Head, a Group 2 race, finishing 3rd of 7, beaten 2.5 lengths by Friendly Soul. She then finished her season in Keeneland in October 2024, the Queen Elizabeth II Challenge Cup, where unfortunately she can only finish 8th out of 10, beaten 8 lengths by She Feels Pretty in her first American run. Racing Post saying that the best rating she ran to a mark of 106 when she was 8th in the French Oaks and 3rd in the Group 2 Prix Alex Head, only given a mark of 104 for winning that Group 3 trial. You have to say this horse was a slight disappointment. She never really kicked on from her Group 3 trial win and could only manage to finish 8th in a classic and never got her head in front again after that win in April. Next one we're going to look at is Half Day, a female sired by Lope de Vega out of a Frankel sired mare called Daytime. She was owned and bred by Wertheimer Affrere in her career. It's a horse that she did win twice at 2, running to marks of 83, of the best in her first 2 starts. She then bounced back in 2004 with her first win of the season on her first start of the season in the Group 3 Prix Cleopatra over 1 mile, 2.5 furlongs. She looked good that day, defeating Fun with Flags by 2.5 lengths, running to what proved to be her best mark of 107. She was then used really as in a bit of a pacemaking role, really. She always was at the lead, heading towards the front as a bit of a pacemaker role, and she never really saved much in the tank because in her last 3 runs, she only beat 3 horses home. She was 12th out of 14, beat 9 3/4 lengths by Sparkling Plenty in the French Oaks, the Prix de Diane. She then was 7th out of 7 in a Friendly Souls race in August 2024. The Prix Alex Head, I think that was, wasn't it? Yes. And then she was 11th out of 12 in the Arc in the Prix Vermeil of 2024, beaten 29 lengths by the subsequent Arc winner, Blue Stocking. Her form deteriorated from 96 to 87 to 73 in them 3 runs. Her best run of 107 gained when winning the trial, and people will have to say that she probably will have to go down as a slight disappointment. Group 3 winner and not much else after that. Aventure is the next one. We're going to look at a female sired by See the Stars out of Balladurs, trained by Christoph Ferland in the colours of Wertheimer and Frere, owner and breeder. This horse ran a terrific campaign, it's fair to say. At 2, she was just touched off in the Group 3 in October on her second start, the Pre-Reservoirs, her best 2-year-old form of 99. I was getting quite worried in May 2024 when she only just never ran as good as that, when second, beating a short neck behind Gala Real in the Prix de la Seine. But then she put that form very much behind her, winning the Group 3 at Chantilly in June, the Prix de Royaumont, before finishing 4th in the French Oaks, beaten 1 length by Sparkling Plenty. She was then back in the winner's enclosure, winning her first Group 2 race in the Group 2 Prix de Pomont against the older horses, beating Trouvenance by a short neck, before 2 heroic runs in behind Blue Stocking, went second in the Prix Vermeil in September, and then in the 6th of August, finishing the runner-up spot in the Arc, running to a mark of 119 when beaten a length and a quarter by Blue Stocking. Again, this horse went from strength to strength, really. A best mark of 99 at 2 to a mark of 119 at 3. She might not have won a classic, but she did everything else but that, really. Group 3 win, Group 2 win, and 2 Group 1 places. Very hard to call this horse a failure of any kind. Aventure. Last but not least, Sparkling Plenty, a filly, sired by Kingman, out of a dam called Speralita, another one who's got the Sortie Provisoire next to her on the 2nd of 11th, bred by JPJ Dubois. What a season she had. Sparkling Plenty only ran twice at 2. Her best mark was 90 when beating Tiffanyil in a 1 mile listed race at Marseille Borrelli. She won the Prix de la Hante. Very busy at 3. Very busy campaign as well. She started off with a conditions win by 4 lengths. She then was 3rd out of 7, beaten 8 lengths by Chic Columbine in the listed Prix Le Camargo at Saint Cloud. She was then 5th behind Candala in the Prix de la Grotte and 6th behind Ruhia, beaten 2 lengths in the French 1,000 guineas. And then she won a Group 2 in June 2024, beating Cetera by 3 lengths in the Group 2 Prix Sandrian. It was then, after that, she went to the French Oaks, the Prix de Diane, and secured Classic Glory. So the French-based horses have delivered a classic, courtesy of Sparkling Plenty's head victory over Serby in the Prix de Diane de Longines. She then went to Goodwood on the 1st of August, where she finished 3rd, beaten a length behind Opera Singer. She then finished 6th in the 2024 Prix Vermeil, went up to a mile and a half. And then at Longchamp on the 6th of October, she finished 3rd in the Prix de l'Opera, beaten at 1.5 lengths by a Friendly Soul. So what a 3-year-old campaign she had, taking a mark of 90 at 2. And the best form, the Racing Post said, was a mark of 115 when she was 3rd behind Opera Singer in the 2024 Nassau. But it will be for her French Oaks win at Chantilly in June, where she will be firmly remembered as the only French-based horse to deliver a classic for Classic Watch 2024. Right, I'm going to pause this video here now, and now I'm going to line up the German runners, and we are going to try and get back on track and do the French and German runners in the same video. So I will be back shortly. Thank you very much for listening and watching up to this point. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the second part of this one video. We're now going to take a look at the German trained horses on classicwatch24.great/site.net, where the tab we're interested in is there, the German trained horses, and that will take you to these 5 horses here, which we're going to take a look at now, again, in no particular order. The first one we're going to take a look at is Maigret, sired by Counter Attack, out of a dam sired by Dabarism, called Minoris. People will see that this was owned and bred by Gestut Kalshoff, trained by Henk Grue as well, and trained by Behumil Nedorostek in his 3-year-old campaign. People will see that the horse ran quite well in Germany. They will see that the horse has had 5 runs in his life. Not entirely sure that is right, because it's saying that it has won the Dr. Bush Memorial on debut, and I don't necessarily think it did. No, the horse had actually had 6 horses in it, 6 runs in his life. Maigret, you'll see that the horse up 2 won on its debut, and then won the Junior Airman Prize at Dusseldorf, a race that was managed to run a mark of 96, beating the King of My Heart by 2.5 lengths. And then the 4 runs at 3 that you'll see there, that horse managed to win on his first start at 3. In April, he won the Group 3 Dr. Bush Memorial Cup, defeating New Emerald by 2 3/4 lengths. The horse then managed to run in Cologne. The horse did run in the German 2,000 guineas, which is, of course, a Group 2. And the horse could only manage to finish 5th out of 10, beaten 3 1/4 lengths by Devil's Point. In that race, the horse then ran in Italy in the Group 3 Gran Premio di Milano against the older horses, where the horse finished 5th, beaten 3 1/4 lengths on the day by Flags Up, before ending his career with another run at Group 3 level in August in the Fritz Henkel Prize in Germany at Dusseldorf, where the horse finished 3rd, beaten 3.5 lengths by Geography. An interesting horse, really, 5th in a Group 2 classic, and the horse managed to win a Group 3 and a listed race, a solid rather than spectacular season, where the best racing post rating achieved by the horse was a mark of 114 when it won the Group 3 at Krefeld. The next horse we're going to take a look at is a horse quite closely related to Maigret, Shigara, a filly sired by Zarak, out of a dam sired by Monson, called She Bang. She actually won one of the leading 2-year-old races of 2023, the Gestert Schneiderhan owned and bred filly, and the trainer of the horse was Marcus Klug, as people will see. Shigara had an interesting career, it's fair to say. Didn't really see as much of her as I would have liked. The internet has, for some reason, going very slow here, which is not what I do. I've actually clicked on that tab a long time ago, and there doesn't seem to be anything. Hey, finally, Turf TV responds. It's one of them sites, obviously, with a built-in security gauge on it that takes ages to load. You'll see there in 2023, she won the Group 3, priced to Winter Kernaghan at Group 3, as well as winning on debut. And then, unfortunately, the horse was only seen twice in her 3-year-old campaign. You'll see at 2, so again, the Racing Post contempt for German newcomers races, again, emphasised here as it doesn't include the debut win at Mulheim, but the horse has raced 5 times, winning 3. You'll see there, 2nd of 6, beaten by a Geologist in the listed race at Cologne in September 2023, the Winter Kernaghan trial. But then she came back and defeated Lady Mary by a head to win the 2023 Price to Winter Kernaghan, running to a mark of 92. She then won a listed race on her first start in 2024. The horse winning the Henkel Stuten Prize at Dusseldorf, beating Satois by half a length, running to what proved to be her career best mark of 100. She was another that turned up in the Group 2 German 1,000 guineas of 2024, and she could only finish 11th out of 13, beaten 13.5 lengths by another the UK Raiders, won both German guineas, as Darnation the Group 2 win this time, and the horse could only manage to run to a mark of 73. Quite disappointing, really, not to see Shigara more on the track. She was Group 3 winner at 2, listed winner at 3, but she was only seen 5 times after that, twice at 3. So she has to really go down as a bit of a disappointment, really. The next one we're going to take a look at is Borna, the first colt on the list. Darius Racing owned horse, sired by Saxon Warrior out of a dam called Kingdom Come, who herself was sired by King's Best. You see there, bred by Harry Esther Couves, owned by Darius Racing and trained by Marcus Klug. Again, I should imagine the contempt for German newcomers races after we've waited about a week for the site to actually load the page in. It really is a grind on Turf TV, but it's the only site that really is there and any good for German racing. But they do insist on putting these time delays on their sites. We might as well click on it and go and do something else. It's still not there. Look, we've clicked the tab so long ago, and the site is just being ground to a halt. And I think it's by the own site deniers. I really do. Site designers. I used to use them on my sites, but it slows everything down dramatically. And you'll see there the horse won on debut at Baden-Baden on the 26th of the 8th, before finishing fourth in the Group 3 Winter Favoriton, and then finishing second again in Italy in the Grand Criterium on its last run of 2023. It then ran in the Derby Italiano at Rome when it finished first on the 19th of the 5th, and the horse then continued, come back and ran well in the Deutsche Derby, where the horse finished second in a Group 1. So the horse nearly did land a classic. I think there's a run missing there as well. I think the horse did win in Italy before the horse headed to the Italian Derby. It did. So the form, as well as being slow, the information just not correct on Turf TV, on Turf Time, sorry. Unfortunately, you'll see there that the horse won, beat Chaos Calmo by a short head at San Siro on the 21st of April, before beating Royal Supremacy by 2.5 lengths in the Italian Derby, running to a mark of 109, before losing a neck to a Palladium, second out of 18 in the German Derby on the 7th of July, where the horse ran to its best mark of his career of 110. Very unfortunate, this horse, not to land a German classic. The horse did land an Italian Group 2 classic, placed in the German Group 1. There's only one Group 1 race against 3-year-olds in Germany, and the horse Borna for colts. There's one for fillies as well, the Oaks, the colts. But Borna nearly took the race out, beaten a neck. It was then I read that he'd had some sort of setback and was not seen again for the rest of the season, unfortunately. The next one we're going to take a look at is Narrativo. He went off the favourite for the German Derby, you'll see there. The horse sired by Adlerflug out of a dam called Nicella. Bred and owned by Gestert Ittlingen and trained by Peter Schergen. Again, I've already pressed the button to load the page on Turf Times. It's just grinding away. It's an automatic, a delay. So if people click on it loads of times, the longer it takes. It's sort of a method of security. You'll see there the site has loaded now. This horse was second in the Price to Winter Favoriton at 2 in a Group 3 after winning first time out at Dusseldorf at 3. The horse was seen 5 times. The horse had a good solid campaign, it's fair to say. None of its 2-year-old runs were even. Oh, we're hitting problems now. The full form is for part of Racing Post. So I will have to stop the form there and try and find that. Sorry about this. These are just the problems that people have. Yes, you'll see there. Apologies for that. You'll see the 2 runs at Narrativo, beaten a neck by Geography in 2023 in the Group 3, where the horse ran to a mark of 97. This horse turned out to be quite a solid horse in Germany, really. Beaten 5.25 lengths, third of 5, behind Kalandagan, first time out in the Group 3 Prix-Hocart. The horse then went to a German Group 2 race, the 189th Union Rennen Group 2 3-year-old Leiden Derby trial, and the horse managed to defeat Eleno by a length and 3/4 in that race, running to a mark of 109. Like I said, the horse favourite for the German Derby, I think it was on the day, beaten 14th of 18, with Borna finishing second. And then the horse at least came back to have secured 2 quite promising Group 1 placed efforts against the older horse. Horses were second, beaten 5 lengths by Al Riffa in the Grosser Price von Berlin. And then the horse was beaten 4 3/4 lengths by Fantastic Moon when third of 6 in the Grosser Price von Baden, which was, according to the Racing Post, the best mark of his season. They run into a mark of 114. It also ran to a mark of 113 when beaten by a Riffer, and a mark of 109 when beaten by Aleno. So it's fair to say that this is a good, solid German 3-year-old colt, and it will be interesting to see how it gets on at 4 next season. The last horse we're going to take a look at in Germany was one we chanced in the German Oaks, a filly called Dia, who was sired by Dubawi out of a dam called Diamanta, who herself was sired by Maxios, bred and owned by Gustav Bremerhoff and trained by Sarah Steinberg. This horse, again, a very lightly raced horse. You'll see there, I'll press the Rennen button again. Oh, quite quick this time, must have finally allowed us. You'll see the horse was second on debut at Hoppegarten in a Cat D race on the 9th of the 6th, and then it won an Oaks trial on the 14th of the 7th, the BBAG Diana trial at Mulheim, a listed race on only her second start. She then went to the German Oaks on the back of that on the 4th of August and was last, 15th of 15, beaten 21 lengths on the day by Erle. But her win by a length over Princess Valentina at Mulheim on July the 24th earned her Racing Post figure of 105. And as usual, the Category D race not on the site. And then that was it. Dia not seen again after the German Oaks, unfortunately. But I did note that the dam out of Diamanta after this race broke the Baden sales record, I think, for the most money ever paid for a yearling in a German sale. So it was a relative of this horse, Dia. But for a horse seen so few times, it's really hard to draw any sort of conclusion from her beaten in the Oaks and a listed winner, and it will be interesting to see what she can do at 4. Right, I'm going to end this video here now. Thank you very much to everybody for taking the time to watch this French and German-based video, the review of Classic Watch 24. It's always very much appreciated. We've still got horses to review from Classic Watch 24. We've got the American horses and the Japanese horses to review. We hope to do that at some point. We've also got the repercussions from the Dublin Racing Festival to come, and then we'll really start focusing down on some Classic Watch 25 possibles and maybe the odd National Hunt horse as well, ahead of the first Spring Festival in March, the Cheltenham Festival in the UK. What I'll do at the end of this video is I'll leave a copy of the Classic Watch 24 review playlist, so people will be able to keep up with the review playlist of the episodes that they've missed so far. The Australian one that was done in July, and like I said earlier at the start of the video, we've also got the English-based and the Irish-based done. So that's all Europe done now with this video of Germany and Italy. And what I will also do is I'll leave an opportunity for people who have chosen to watch this video that aren't subscribed to the channel. I will leave you all an opportunity to subscribe so you do not miss any more of my content moving forward on YouTube. Don't forget to check out Patreon for the National Hunt horses, weekly runners, daily runners, if there's more than 5 a day in more than 3 races. We're starting to put some more daily and weekly thoughts on the Patreon, as well as all the National Hunt horses. You'll be able to see horses like Hello Neighbour and Kopek Day Board, who was so dominant at the Dublin Racing Festival this past weekend. They are on the Patreon channel, as are many others. And they'll also give you an opportunity, like I said, to subscribe to this channel. But I will leave this video here now. Thank you very much to everybody who watched it. Have a fantastic week upcoming. Take care of yourselves and your loved ones. And goodbye.